Would you guys like to discuss the movies that we talked about on the podcast, recommend movies for future episodes, or maybe even watch movies with us? Check out the Discord.
You can find the Discord on the latest episodes or on the website, theotherhalfpodcast.com. We're just hanging out chatting.
And while you're there, maybe also check out the second of the Discord, which is specifically for Ethan's streams on Twitch. You get updates as to when he goes live. Just keep up to date with us, with Ethan, the podcast, and the stream.
It's also totally okay if you just want to hang out and talk about the podcast. You can hang out there and maybe we'll see you there and watch a movie or something.
Or maybe you're like, wow, these streams are so much better, and you just totally ignore the podcast. That's also another option.
That could happen.
Why not?
Why not? The Discord is your oyster. Come join us.
The Discord is your oyster. Join it.
I watched the first half of Head.
I watched the second half of Head.
And this
is the other half.
It's giving Head.
It's giving Head. Apparently that was the idea, is that they made a sequel to this movie. They would be like, from the guys that gave you Head.
So stupid.
This movie's dumb as fuck.
This movie fucking sucks.
But I love it.
Really?
No, I don't. I just like the idea, and I like certain scenes. But honestly,
there are certain scenes that are fun.
Overall, I'm
it's
like,
kind of a miss.
It's not. It's a lot of misses more than hits.
Yeah,
yes,
it's definitely. It's like ADHD. The movie.
It really
it's
is
just all over the place.
Well, it's so obvious. So it's co-written by Jack Nicholson.
Sure.
And the director of the movie. And it sounds, apparently they literally just like all hung out with the Monkees, and they were like pitching like, what is the craziest shit that we can do? And they all just like pitched random ideas, and they're like, okay, let's just do that. And then they strung it into this loose concept, basically.
What do you know about the Monkees?
They were an American pop band that was basically trying to play off of the success of the Beatles, but after I think the first couple records, it was revealed that they actually like cared about music and like wanted to make interesting experimental stuff. So after the first couple of records, they actually started putting out interesting music.
Well, they were originally just based on a TV show.
Yes, it was the TV show.
They were just invented for a TV show, like a band, but then they were accused of like not doing like apparently
they didn't sing their own songs originally too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. This is like their rebrand movie where they're like, we're gonna be a little more edgy. Because I guess it was like more the Beatles, but it ended up being more for like kids.
Yeah, the beginning.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
Where people say we monkey around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not really familiar with them. I don't know if
I don't know that much either. I think we were actually recommended this movie.
This was like one of our first
years ago,
and we're just like, we watched Better Man recently.
Monkey,
let's go all Monkees.
Let's go all Monkees.
Let's dig this one up.
I've been a little curious about this movie for quite a while.
It is in the Criterion Collection.
It is in the Criterion Collection.
It always gets a little like, why is it here? And it's because it's weird.
It also, there's some pretty cool looking shots, I guess.
Yeah.
There's
some pretty cool looking shots. It's definitely like experimental.
It is very
experimental.
I
don't really think it works together as a movie. It's just like, do you want to see weird stuff and people be kind of cheeky?
It does kind of suck when you don't know anything about any of these Monkees. So because they'll be like, we're looking for Davey. Oh, we're looking for Mike. Oh, we're looking for Mickey.
Steve,
oh, we're looking for Pete. And I'm like, who are these fucking people?
I don't know any of these people. All I know is Mickey has the face that he's a very strong jaw.
Yeah, Mickey's got a strong jaw.
He's got the hair.
Mike has the sideburns.
Yeah, Mike's a sideburn.
You got Peter, who's got the long, like, bowl cut. And then you've got the British one, whose name is Davy.
Yeah, I don't know where they got Davy from.
Davy Jones.
Yeah, his name's Davy Jones.
Yes, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
He's so wild.
He's so crazy.
This is just so, and it's like, I was watching this movie and it really, like, I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of, like, 60s media, but it really came into play, like, oh, yeah, this was, like, right after the 50s. And this is why this movie's like this, is because everyone was so like buttoned up and like conservative and like Mad Men, and then all of a sudden like psychedelics and drugs like came out, and then everyone's like, let's fucking go crazy.
Yeah, let's have fun.
And I understand it now.
And then war started happening too. And,
yeah, exactly.
The Vietnam War happened. It's like, why are we buttoned up? This is awful. Why are we fighting a war? Who cares about this?
It all started to make sense, but you know what doesn't make sense? This movie.
This movie's crazy. The movie starts off with a close up of a CHP officer. It's gonna be very quick to explain this movie and very like weird because it's just like little vignettes that take a while to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the substance, it's not really there. You know?
No, that's
There's
very
no Demi
true.
Moore or anything.
There's no Demi Moore. There's Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, I know that. No. So then, close up with CHP man, just California Highway Patrol for those who may not be.
Yeah,
in
California.
And I don't really know what's going on.
Chips.
But I was like, I recognize where we're at. It's kind of weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are they at?
It's a mayor. It's on like a bridge. I'm like, this bridge looks familiar.
What is it? What bridge is it?
It's the Gerald Desmond Bridge, which, if you know, it is the bridge that connects Long Beach to it goes across to the port.
I just drove over that bridge literally last week.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because at the end of the movie, they also run onto a bridge. And I was like, that bridge looks so familiar.
It's the same bridge. It's when it was brand new. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, I don't think this is true. It says it was apparently the actual ceremony they filmed, and then the Monkees just ran through it.
That's
like,
not true.
That's
fucking
bullshit.
stupid.
Because
there's a camera crew and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The mayor's there. He's going to make an announcement about like, I dedicate this marvel to the largest suspension arch bridge in the world, which it was at the time.
Right.
And it's
that bridge is crazy big.
It's big because it's got fit like big ships under it. It recently got redone actually, so the one we see is slightly different from what it is.
Bigger?
It's bigger.
It's bigger. It's
they made it even
sexier,
taller.
It's thicker.
Well, it fit bigger ships under it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it was recently done, like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. But anyway, it was just weird because like this mayor's like trying to get the audio working and it's not working, and it's a whole bit. And I'm like, what is this bit here? And then the Monkees run through, and they're running, and one of them jumps off the bridge. I think it's Mickey.
Yeah,
and
Mickey
he survives.
jumps off first. He
like,
survives?
Yeah, you'd be fucking dead, dude.
Yeah, that's a high bridge.
That bridge is fucking tall.
Yeah. Do you see like the dumbass dummies that they drop? And they look so bad.
Yeah, they look bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, it falls to the bridge, and it's trippy. Hits the water, and then the colors get all weird. He's like, fall through the water. It's like picture 60s.
Yes.
Right? It's that.
That's what it is.
Picture a man falling in the water in the 60s.
Yeah.
It's like you just dropped acid.
Yep.
Colors getting weird. It's trippy. Then fucking mermaids start appearing, and they start coming and swimming up to him, and the mermaids start fucking kissing him, and there's music playing, and I'm just like, all right, this is the fucking monkey movie.
This is the monkey movie.
I thought the monkey movie would be like more kiddish, but it's
no, this is not kiddish at all.
Adults, bro.
Only adults can watch the monkey movie. Yeah.
The mermaid starts kissing him, and then she's like, oh man, and it starts
kids
turning
can't
color.
see a mermaid kissing a man.
I know, and then it turns into like she's a real person, and they're just on land suddenly, and she's kissing him, and then she goes over and kisses another monkey. And then she goes over and kisses...
a member of the Monkees.
Yes.
Okay.
There are no actual monkeys in this. I know we
just talked about Better Man, which had a monkey in it. Okay, got it. Talks to a monkey, yeah.
And then she goes over and spins one of the other members of the Monkees around and kisses him in like a barber chair. And then she goes to the final monkey and kisses him, and where there's a window open and a bunch of bird sounds are being made. You know, because it's like, hallelujah, she's kissed all the monkeys.
Right.
And then she leaves, and one of them asks like, well... And she says, about even. It's like kind of funny.
That's pretty great. Apparently that was Jack Nicholson's girlfriend at the time.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Jack Nicholson's a weird guy. He's a weird guy.
He clearly is.
He's kind of a weird guy.
He's a strange dude, yeah.
Not just because of that, but for other reasons.
For other reasons,
He's
too.
Kind of a weird dude.
We went to a cafe called Poopies. Have you seen that video? No. He's talking about like when he used to make movies back in the old days. There's a clip of him in documentaries wearing like sunglasses. He looks just like the drill thing. He looks just like that. He's just like sitting down. He's like, we went to this cafe called Poopies.
I always see him at the front of Lakers games. That's all I know him from.
That's pretty fair.
That's
all you know him from?
Yeah, I don't know him from The Shining.
Yeah.
I know him from the front of Lakers. The Lakers games just call him Jack, too.
Yeah,
they don't even say
true.
Jack Nicholson. It's fucking Jack. He's
Jack.
always there. He's always on the court side, sitting there watching the Lakers, dude.
Yeah, and he goes to Poopies.
He goes to Poopies afterwards.
We're going to have to show you that video afterwards. We're going to end the episode with that.
Yeah, I want to have that clip in there.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
make a note, too, so I remember that.
I don't think I have any other clips from this movie, but I want you to put the clip of him saying Poopies.
So then it cuts to like multiple TV screens with different things and goes, hey, where are the Monkees? The only thing I feel like I know about the Monkees
is that they say, hey, we're the Monkees.
And to that we all agree, a manufactured image with no philosophies. And I'm like, I don't think that's the regular lyrics. I think they're like trying to be like, whoa, edgy.
Yeah.
And they go through a whole thing about how like whatever we say, it doesn't matter. We'll say one thing and we'll take it back, but it doesn't matter because we're just all making it up at the time. But we're just sit back and have a good time. And this montage is like showing all these different images, and then it ends with the famous shot of the Vietnamese guy getting executed.
What the fuck?
And a girl screaming.
Holy fucking shit.
I was like, whoa, all right, they set the tone.
Is that the head they were talking about?
Oh, no, yeah. I'm giving you blown up head, yeah.
Yikes, bikes. I don't know about this one, guys.
Yeah, and a girl crying at a theater, and then there's people chanting, "We love the Monkees," and they come out to like kind of like a football stadium, and he goes, "Give me an R, all right," and the thing goes R.
R.
It's clearly like they have white like papers held up, and it's clearly CGI, like not
CGI.
No, it's like painted
Matte?
over, Matt painted over.
Got it. Okay.
W, and then Matt paints over. Give me an A. Give me an R. What does it spell? War. And then they're suddenly in a war zone. And the Monkees are in war zones. They're just kind of chilling in a trench.
Mm-hmm.
The main guy like pretends to get shot, and he doesn't. And he's like, "Oh, I got shot." And he's like, "Yeah, go get some fucking ammo back there." So he runs back, gets some ammo.
The main guy?
Some guy, I don't know any of these fucking guys' names.
We just went through all their names.
Okay,
we got Peter, we got Mickey, we got Mike, and we got Davey.
It's probably Davey.
Okay, Davey's the British
No,
one.
it's Peter.
Peter.
Because he doesn't have a British accent.
Okay, there you go.
I think. I could be wrong. Whatever. If you're someone
monkey
who
head?
knows about the Head movie, you can fuck off. All right?
What are you doing listening to this podcast?
Why are you here?
Yeah, why don't you listen to like a good podcast for old people?
Yeah, why don't you go fucking take your fucking
medicine,
blue pill, your
Blue
blue chill,
pill?
blue chill, blue chew, blue chew. That's the thing you take for your dick, right? You take some blue chew
like some Blue Chew,
and go
watch some Coco
fill out your
Melon.
AARP membership and go listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
Go listen to this
for old
head-
people.
Yeah, this is for people who want to know about history. This is not
We
for
don't.
people who live
These are
in
for
history.
people who don't know about Head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never had head before. This is for the headless of us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Um,
we are the headless
We
horsemen.
are the headless horsemen,
Yeah.
and we're showing you Ichabod's crane. So, anyway, yeah, it's fucking, I don't know, what's his name? I already forgot his name. Peter's running back. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get ammo." So he goes to get ammo. One of the guys doesn't want to wear a helmet. He's like, "You're gonna get shot in the head." And he's like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
And then he's running, and some photographer pops out. He's like, "I'm gonna take a photo for life." And they take a photo of him, and it's on the frame of a life photo. It's like, he's a hero. And then he goes and he gets attacked by a football player. And the football player attacks him, and he's like, "Stop tackling me, dude." And he's like, I'm going to tackle you. And the football man gets upset, and he throws his football helmet at him. And then he gets the ammo and runs away. And then the monkey comes back. Pete comes back and gives the football helmet to the guy who didn't like the helmet. He's like, "Oh, this is way better. Thank you." And then I guess
gives the football helmet or the army helmet?
No, the football helmet to the guy who doesn't want the army helmet.
Got it. Okay.
This doesn't fucking matter.
No,
None
that's
of this
clever though. See, it's different helmets.
shit- Is it clever?
I think so.
I think it's silly.
Okay.
The cat just meowed. I don't know if that got picked up. So then she also
I'm
agrees.
not a fan of the
No,
movie.
does not agree.
Yeah.
Also is like, "That's silly, Dad." So then what happens? So they're like, "We gotta go run the line." So they go run the line, and during this time, the football guy is just hitting himself in the head in the trench because he doesn't have his helmet anymore.
Right.
He's so aggro.
Yeah.
And they go to a cave and they become the Monkees again, and they storm it, by the way. And then they play a show in the middle of an auditorium. They play "Circle Sky Telling Lies," I guess is the song.
Cool.
They're showing like Vietnam in the background, and then they all get mobbed by the audience because they love them so much. They turn into mannequins, get torn apart by the mob. Then the channel flips. Some guy's watching a channel on TV. It's the world's largest Ford dealership. Some ad, and it cuts to Mickey
Okay.
in the desert. He's sad. He's dying in the desert.
Okay.
And something keeps telling him, "You gotta keep going on." And he's like, "All right, I'll do it." And he goes and he finds I found the oasis. And it's a Coca-Cola machine, and he tries to get stuff out
That's
of it.
pretty clever.
But it's
That's
empty.
pretty funny. Uh-oh.
It's clever.
Yeah, it's a Coca-Cola. You think it's an oasis, and it's just like, and you think it's water, but it's actually Coca-Cola.
I guess. I don't know. It seems so juvenile. And
It is juvenile.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the thing is they're trying to be adults. So I feel like all of their like philosophy is very kid-like.
Yeah,
in a
but
way.
it's for like for the 60s. This was
Sure.
very edgy.
It's very edgy,
Yeah.
right? So he kicks it a lot, doesn't work, and some voice says like, "It's pathetic." He's like, "You shut up." It's like, "I'll shut up. You shut up." And he's like, "It's too quiet now because you shut up." And then some dude in an Italian tank arrives in the desert, and he's so happy to see this American there. And then the whole Italian army surrenders to him.
Okay.
And then Mickey gets in the tank and uses the tank to blow up the Coca-Cola machine. And then he smiles, and it transitions into him in like a Egyptian headpiece, and he's watching ladies dance with music playing over it, and all these ladies do not seem like they're from Egypt. One of the Monkees is there, and they're kissing a lot of ladies, and it's fun. And then they swap over to suddenly they're in a Wild West setting.
Oh yes.
And there's a lady saying, "Suck my finger." before the venom reaches my heart.
Oh,
And they're like, okay, whatever. And they're in like cowboys and Indian style, and they're like fighting. And
do you see the main bad cowboy yet? The one with the beard? Is he coming to play?
He's kind of there. I think he's there a little bit later.
Okay.
And she's like, you can help me or not? And they're like, whatever. I don't care about you, lady. And she's like dying or whatever.
I feel like this is me talking about like a stoner movie to you, where I'm just like, none of this is funny, and I'm like, this is pretty good.
It's all right.
Yeah. I like the Coca-Cola bit.
This girl's dying, and the monkey's like, we don't care. It's like, stop playing, stop acting. This sucks. And she's like, well, this all stinks. One of the monkeys breaks. I don't know who. And he says,
which one does it look like? Big hair?
I think it's Mickey, actually.
Mickey,
He's
yeah.
like, this all
strong
stinks.
jaw.
Fake trees, fake arrows. This all sucks. And they go and they exit. It's the back of a lot.
Yes.
It's like a movie shooting lot. And we cut to one of the monkeys. I think it's Petey playing a violin. And it's clearly fake because the monkeys come and they grab him and they take him up into the fake room. And the music keeps like looping.
Playing, yeah.
But it loops. I don't know why it starts looping because he's gone.
Oh, maybe it's a situation where it's like, when you like a record, it's looping. You know what I mean?
I guess it's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know why.
I'm not like high enough for this.
I don't know why the guy was like, oh, I'm gonna stop playing this record because he stopped playing the violin for fake.
Yeah.
No,
That's fair.
And then they're walking around, and some guy. I think it almost feels like it might have been the Sideburns guy. He's like, I've been looking all over you guys. Imagine the tie-ins we could make. We could make all this money with you guys. And they're like, I'm good. He's like, get some blonde wigs, put some swords on, we'll make millions. They're like,
Yeah.
We're gonna go back. And they cut to like this heist in kind of like a old town where all these people get an alert that the monkeys are coming. And everyone's like, fuck this, we got to get out of here. So they all leave.
Yeah.
And they walk in, and it's kind of like a 50s diner. And the waitress is like, isn't it the God's gift to 8-year-olds? I'm like, that's pretty funny. He's like, well, if you're trying to redo your image, you may as well get some good writers while you're at it. And the whole scene just has Pete sitting there with melted ice cream. As it melts, it cuts close up of him just looking at ice cream that's
melting in his hand. Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole thing. I don't really know what the metaphor is there. It's just kind of weird, I think.
What kind of flavor was it? Was it vanilla?
It looked like a vanilla, or like maybe a caramel, maybe something like that.
Yummy.
Maybe cinnamon. He goes to another place.
I don't think they invented that one yet.
The cinnamon hasn't been invented yet?
I don't think cinnamon ice cream had been invented yet.
I don't think they ever were that like innovative back then.
No, I think back then it was like, you got
put
chocolate or you got vanilla.
Yeah, I know,
and
like
maybe
some Jell-O
strawberry.
on the side.
Jell-O. Yeah.
They had malts though.
They had malts, and then they had, what is it, the sodas? They had those,
The soda pops.
Sody pop.
Yeah, back when they had when soda was cool enough that you could have a whole place all built around just soda pop.
Drinking soda. Yeah. What a time.
What a time.
Yeah. We used to be a proper country.
That was definitely a great country. Like, I imagine
nothing bad ever happened.
There's nothing bad ever happened. I'm sure every single person of all ethnicities could go in that soda shop.
And genders. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go to another place where we don't bump into each other again, she says to the waiter, the waitress, because they don't like the waitress because she's talking shit on them.
Yeah.
And then we cut to, I believe it is Petey getting beat up by a boxer.
Okay.
And Mickey keeps standing up and being like, stay down. He's like, no, I'm not going to stay down. Oh, it's Davy, because some lady keeps saying, don't do it, Davy. And Davy cuts to him talking to this lady who's like a Southern belle. And she's like, you got to do it. You got to do this. I don't know why I said the Southern Belle and then a British accent.
It's a British lady.
You got to do this. You got to do this, Davy. You got to do it. You got to play at Carnegie Hall. He's like, I don't know. I want to fight instead. And she's like, why do you want to fight? It's like, well, I'm going to pick the best fighter. And he goes and picks a fighter who is pretty big. And he's like, he's got a nice face. I like him smiling. It's like, you're going to beat him up, huh? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to beat him up. It's going to be great. And so
Davy's always known as the fighter. He fights in my half of the movie too.
Okay, so Davy gets to the boxer ring and starts punching him, and he gets his ass fucking kicked by this boxer. He's actually a professional boxer.
Right.
And his friend's like, oh no, don't do it. Lay down, Davy. You're going to die. It's just like that scene in Rocky.
Right. They're probably ripping off No, the 60s. Rocky's in the 80s.
Yeah. So then, let's see.
So Rocky ripped them off.
Mickey keeps calling him. Yeah, exactly. Mickey keeps calling him a dummy. And Pete appears and is like, "I'm the dummy. I'm always the dummy." And I guess that's like a joke or
from
whatever.
the TV show.
For the joke of the TV show.
I don't know. I've never seen an episode of the TV show.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
And then Petey goes out and tries to fight. Mickey goes out and tries to fight everyone, and starts punching everyone. and the cops like try to bring him back, and he even like punches like everyone, including like a lady.
Mm-hmm.
He just starts knocking everyone out, including the boxer and everything. It's kind of funny.
Sounds hysterical.
It's very funny. Pete's being talked to by the waitress, who's like, I don't mind them thinking you're a dummy. It's okay. And then Pete then punches the waitress, and then suddenly it breaks kayfabe, which I kind of like, because he's like, guys, I don't know if we should keep this scene in. And then the waitress, everyone else like takes her wig off, and I think it's supposed to be like a drag queen or something under there. It's not really clear. And
so now it's okay that he punched him because they're a drag queen.
I don't know, his implication is different. So Pete's like, I still don't feel good about this. They're like, what's the optics like of this? Me punching a woman? I don't like the optics of it. I know they punched him in the last scene, but like I don't know about this one. It's like Petey keeps talking.
This
keeps
is a cool little
scene.
scene.
This part's fun. I like this part.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Petey's in the snow. Cuts to them walking around a fun little chill grassy area, and then the beach, and there's just a bunch of music, and they're just playing music. And then they go to a place that looks chill, but it's all covered in billboards, dude. Too much advertising.
Too much advertising.
And then they
like
tour
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and then they start touring a factory that seems cursed.
Yes, the factory.
And then some people working in it are like look like mannequins. Some guys just drinking like random liquid. I like this scene. And people are like falling off the conveyor belt. And then that's the end of my half.
All right.
I got through it real quick.
That was really quick.
There ain't shit in this movie, man.
Did you enjoy watching this movie at all?
No.
Not at all. There weren't any scenes.
There was a couple scenes I was like, that's fun.
All right.
But like for the most part, I was like, this is just nonsense.
It is nonsense. So they're walking around a factory, and then they're ushered into a dark room, and they are dressed all in white, and they are dandruff in a dandruff commercial.
Okay.
And so they have to rub on giant hair in like the darkness, and you hear like a dandruff ad and commercial music play. And then they are vacuumed up out of the hair, and 3 of them wind up in the vacuum bag. But Davey holds on to the inside of the tube of the vacuum, and he is separated from them. And he winds up in a room in the dark, dressed in, I don't know, like in the whole movie, I think he's dressed in like this, what looks like a green like tunic or something. Like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, he looks like Link. Sure.
He looks like Link.
Yeah.
Would you agree? He's dressed like
kinda,
Link, kind of. So he's dressed like Link in this dark room, and then he goes behind a wall, and then he comes to the other side of the wall, and he's dressed in like a full-on like black and white perfect like suit. And so he's like in he's in a white suit in a black room. But then as he's singing and dancing in the suit, the movie cuts between him dressed in black in a white suit, and then him dressed in white in a black him dressed in black in a white room, and him dressed in white in a black room.
Okay.
And it's like, you're going to get a fucking like concussion watching this scene, because they keep
flash it real quick.
Frame by frame.
Oh yeah, seizures don't exist back then.
Seizures did not exist.
Yeah.
But this scene's great. I loved it. This is amazing.
You had a seizure. It was a great time.
This is my first like real scene watching, and I'm like, I'm a fan.
Yeah, it seems kind of fun.
I'm in. This is
like
great.
A good scene to start on.
So he's just dancing around. He sings this stupid song about how he had a dad and his dad didn't like him, and then he became a dad and he didn't like his son, and he's dancing around. It's great.
Okay.
And I just wrote down really cool effect. Then the song ends, and then he comes out from behind the wall. He's dressed in his normal like tunic suit, and then he hears a bunch of people applauding, and then all the lights turn on. You see like a crowd of people standing there, and he exits with the crowd of people, and he's like, "So what do you guys think?" And then Frank Zappa's there.
Frank Zappa's there?
Frank Zappa with a cow. He has a cow.
Sure.
And Frank Zappa's like, those are some pretty good dance moves. But you know,
you got the better half. You got Frank Zappa.
I got Frank Zappa walking with a cow, dude.
Pretty sick.
And Frank Zappa looking great. Goes like, yeah, those were some pretty good dance moves, but that song sounded pretty white to me.
Ooh.
And he's just like, yeah, well, you know, I'm a pretty white guy. And he goes, yeah, but I think you need to focus more on your singing, because, you know, you are a inspiration to all the young people out there, and just being a good dancer isn't enough. You have to be good at singing as well. And then the camera cuts to the cow that Frank Zappa is walking, and the cow says,
Monkees is the craziest people.
They walk off.
All right.
And I'm like, what?
Yep.
And by talk, I mean the cow's mouth opens up and like animates.
Oh, it animates. It's not like Mr. Ed. Where
It animates.
Okay.
And it says, Monkees is the craziest people. And I'm like,
I mean, yeah, they're monkeys, not people.
they're craziest people. So now we're backstage of a studio. There's a cop there. I think it's the same CHP officer from earlier.
Yeah.
And the other 3 monkeys climb out of a giant black box in the ground. And the cop confronts them, and he's like, you guys, you're going down to the station with me. And then an army of black soldiers arrive, and they somehow divert the cop away from the monkeys. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what that's all about. So then all the monkeys are like left alone now. Davy's there with all the rest of the monkeys.
I don't
again.
know.
Go ahead.
The thing is, I don't know what this is about is most of the movie.
Yeah, it's most of the movie. So Davy's like, I got to go to the bathroom. So he goes to the bathroom So he goes to the bathroom. It's a public bathroom. And he opens the bathroom mirror. Now, have you ever been to a public bathroom where you open up the bathroom mirror? Never. But in this movie, anything can happen.
Of course.
So he opens up the bathroom mirror, and on the other side of the bathroom mirror is a human eye, a giant human eye staring back at him. And he freaks out, and he closes the mirror.
I like this weird anatomy you're getting in your half with the big hair.
The head.
The eye, yeah.
It's all a head.
I haven't got none of that shit.
And so then Peter walks in.
I just got ladies dancing around.
I mean, it's pretty great, too.
There was the misogyny didn't feel good.
I guess that's true. I always assumed they enjoyed. They enjoyed the dancing. Yeah, this is the 60s, man. Free love. Yeah, it was
they
directed
weren't
by
shot
a man,
that way though.
It was directed by a man.
It was directed by a man, and the men got all the kissing, and yeah.
So then Peter walks in, and I had to see this scene 3 or 4 times. Peter walks into the bathroom, and he's whistling, and I'm like, that song sounds so familiar. So I rewound it and watched it again. I'm like, that song is very familiar. And he comes in again, and it sounded like this. It was like, it sounded very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
He's whistling "Strawberry Fields Forever," the Beatles song.
Oh. Man, I gotta say, the waitress in the part, she also riffed on them a lot by being like, "You guys still chasing after Ringo? You guys doing all that stuff?" Like all they're doing is being like,
they're totally rubbing in everyone's faces.
Yeah.
So Peter walks in whistling "Strawberry Fields Forever," and he opens up the mirror. He doesn't see the eyeball. And Davy's like, "You don't understand. There's an eyeball back there. Like, we're in danger." He's all freaked out. And then Peter leaves the room, and he says, "Nobody ever lends money to a man with a sense of humor," he says. Now, the reason I wrote that down, if you were to look at my notes in all caps, is because as he says the words, those words flash on the screen for the longest amount of time that he's saying the word. So he's walking out of the room, and as he's walking out of the room, the words "nobody flash, ever flash, lens flash, money flash, to flash, a flash, man flash, with flash, a flash, sense of humor," like flashing at the camera. And like, what is going on? Why is this happening? I don't know.
It's just happening.
It's just happening.
Like, it just feels like someone was like, I don't know.
We should probably do something now.
We should do something now. We got some effects. Well, have you tried this before?
This
does
does
work?
There's a big. So I'm starting to reach the point of the movie where I actually start to lose interest in it.
Okay.
But all this stuff, this is the stuff I love because it's weird and meta and crazy.
It's cool stuff. I think the thing is though, like a lot of this stuff you don't realize is you got to have some substance behind it.
No, this is head.
Yeah, I mean, like to keep people interested.
Yeah, no,
you
that's
can't
true.
just do stuff and be like, but
I think they were hoping that their audiences would be high.
I probably helped a lot.
Probably. And the other thing, but after a while, I'm like, I think they shot this sequence and they realized it wasn't good looking, and so then they just added like psychedelic effects to it.
Yeah,
like they did in the first half. So Davy looks in the mirror and is transported into what I can only describe as a D&D nightmare castle with skeletons.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It was cool. And he's in the nightmare castle, and he walks down a hallway, and he opens up a door at the end of the hallway, and inside is a giant bug. But the bug is actually a bug that Mickey has found, and because Mickey is now looking for bugs, I guess, and he falls down a hill to ballet music, and then he and Peter and Mike are all chained to a wall, and then the wall spins around, and it's still the bathroom, and the cop is like, "You guys better get out of here before I arrest you," and they all get out.
What have they done?
Nothing. And then the cop... Why are you asking for legitimate?
Oh, you're right.
Why are you asking legitimate questions here? We are watching Head.
We're watching Head.
So they leave, and then the cop, while alone, does the little weird striptease dance. And it's funny because I was watching this movie with my wife, and my wife was like, "Is this cop supposed to be like gay?" And I'm like, "Oh, just wait." And then he does this little striptease dance, and it's like clear that the cop is supposed to be like. It's funny because a cop is gay. Have you ever heard of a gay cop before?
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
It's so hilarious.
And so then he looks in the mirror, and he sees a man named Victor Mature, or the Big Victor. Have you ever heard of Victor Mature before?
No, but I like the name Big Victor.
Victor Mature was apparently a giant man who was also like a leading man. He was from Tennessee. Look him up. He was like the lead in like a bunch of different. So I thought Victor Mature was like a stage name. That was like the name that he went by as like a movie star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look him up. Yeah, that's him. And apparently he was like a big name in like silent, not silent film, like in film noir and stuff. And they gave him the script and they're like, will you be in this movie? And he was like, I don't know what this movie's about, but it's very funny and I can't stop laughing. So yeah, I'll be in this movie. So he's in the movie. He's just Victor Mature and he just sits around smoking fucking cigarettes and looking cool.
This guy lived to 86.
Dude, this guy looked cool as hell. Can you describe Victor Mature for the
Victor
audience?
Mature is like, imagine like Don Draper with like 0.25 more Riz.
That is the best description for Victor Mature.
Just a little bit more Riz.
Just a tiny bit more Riz.
Like, and he really existed.
Yes, he was a real guy. Yeah, if you took John Hamm and like Tennessee Ernie Ford and you put them together, that's Victor Mature.
That's pretty accurate.
This dude looked cool as fuck, and he's in this movie. He doesn't do shit. He just shows up and he laughs, and it's great.
Yeah, it was his like fourth last movie he did.
So that's sad. So
I mean, he probably retired. He was fucking old. He's like, I'm
died
done.
on the set of Head.
No, he lived until 1999.
That's crazy. He lived a good life.
He was born in he lived a long good life. He was born in like 1913 and lived till 1999. That's a pretty good life.
He saw a lot of things change. He probably went on the internet.
He saw fucking World War One
and II
and civil rights
and the
9/11.
Vietnam War.
No, he missed 9/11.
He missed 9/11, but he probably saw the internet.
You probably saw the internet.
He probably went on the internet. He's like, I'm Victor Mature. So the cop sees Victor Mature in the bathroom mirror and the cop faints. And then as the cop faints, a title card pops up and it just says The Cop's Dream. But then that's it. That's the end. That's the last we basically see of the cop. And then we see Mike. And Mike wakes up from his dream. And he wakes up from his dream in one room. And in the other room, we see Peter and Mickey. And Peter answers the door, and at the door is a telegram, and the guy that delivering the telegram is chained to some like 20-year-old lady.
Okay.
Do you know who this person is?
No.
Okay,
maybe it's the lady who kissed everyone.
Maybe. So the telegram guy gives the telegram and then runs off, and the lady runs off with the telegram guy, and the telegram is read by Mike, who had just woken up, and then after he reads the telegram, everyone's gone. Peter is also in the D&D castle room, and Mick has turned into a model, like the thing you saw earlier, the mannequin, and he's like, what is going on? And then this is one of the worst parts of the movie. Mike, all the color reverses, and Mike just slowly floats down the D&D like dungeon hallway for like what feels like forever, but it's only probably about 2 minutes. And then he ends up at the end of the hallway, and he opens up the door. And as he opens up the door, it's like a dark room, and he sees monks chanting, and then all of a sudden, everyone pops out, and I didn't know who this man was. I didn't know what his name was. I don't know anything about the Monkees, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, all these strangers pop out, and they all say, "Happy birthday, Mike!" And they all go, "Happy birthday, Mike!"
Good thing you weren't on drugs watching this movie.
And I was like, "This is my dream come true."
You heard it here first, everyone. Please just pop out of nowhere.
And just say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Mike.
And then everyone comes out and starts screaming happy birthday. And then they all just start dancing. And they all just do like a psychedelic dance.
Okay, we get it, Mike. We'll plan you a surprise party. Okay, I get it.
This shit was incredible. And then like psychedelic, crazy inverted colors start. You see camera crew everywhere. They are not even trying to hide the camera crew. And everyone's just fucking dancing and shit. Dancing to stupid music. And then they cut to Mike, and Mike's like, I hate this. I hate surprises. Who needs this? He says, I hate it. You know why I hate it? And it's so funny because it feels like they told Mike to act angry, and the guy playing Mike is like not able to act.
It's weird because they are actors.
They're not.
Well, they are because they're supposed to be. They're on TV first.
Well, he's not good at acting.
That doesn't mean they're good, but they're supposed to be actors.
They're supposed to be actors. So he's like, I hate surprises.
I think that's what surprised me so much is that they were originally
supposed to be actors.
I mean, they were on TV first. They were TV actors first.
Pretty clear they couldn't fucking learn lines. And so he's like complaining about how everyone surprised him. And he's like, you're all laughing at me. And I'm like, bro, this is the greatest shit in the world. And then he's like, I don't like my birthday. I don't like surprises. Same thing goes for Christmas. And everyone screams. And he's like, yeah, take that. He doesn't like Christmas. And
What's this
then
guy?
the guy with a beard shows up with a noose around his neck. I think he's the cowboy man.
Yeah, he appeared at one point. I think he might have been the guy who was like, "You can make a ton of money off this guys" or something like that.
So he shows up and he keeps repeating, "That a boy, Mike." And at first he shows up in like a wheelchair, and then he gets out of the wheelchair and he starts like walking towards them, like hobbling towards Mike. And he's like, "That a boy, Mike." And then he starts like talking gibberish. And it seems like he's like putting on some kind of weird affectation to sound like handicapped or something.
Okay.
And then all the monkeys start laughing at him. And then you hear a gunshot. And then they're transported to the west, like in the old West town. And that same guy is standing there with a gun in his hand, pointed at the monkeys. And he says, "Don't ever make fun of cripples."
Oh, okay.
And then they cut to archival interviews of people, black and white archival interviews, and they're all saying that laughing at people should be punished and should be illegal because it's against people's civil rights. And they're just like, yeah, if I ever met someone who laughed at somebody, I would beat them. Or like, people who make fun of people and laugh at people ought to be thrown in a river and taught to talk to fish.
No, we should make fun of people.
We should make fun of people,
Yeah.
but not cripples.
No, not for not people for disabilities or anything they can't control, but for people who are maybe, I don't know, spending a bunch of money on like trying to do I don't know, spending a bunch of money trying to rig elections or trying to make it so that the Supreme Court people get chosen.
We are living in a
point,
different world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then that all fades to black, and then you hear the words "guilty, guilty, guilty, guilty," and then all the boys wake up and they're in prison. And then smoke comes out of the prison bars, but we realize the smoke is actually from a steam room, and there's an Indian religious man in there.
Like, this is like me describing all my dreams to my girlfriend when I wake up. Like, no fucking joke. This is me describing every single one of my
Honestly,
dreams.
you probably have way better
Do you want to know what my
dreams.
latest dream was?
Yes, please.
You want to know what it was?
I actually want to hear.
So
it.
last
Look at
night,
it. I'm
literally
turning off my notes.
turning off your notes. Okay, so last
I wanna
night
hear your dream.
I had to poop in my dream. All right, I had to poop real bad, but I couldn't find a place to poop. I went to a bathroom, right, where you normally go to
Where
poop.
you go to poop.
But unfortunately, there was no doors. So there's no
Get
way to
into
really
the bathroom?
poop.
How'd you know it was a bathroom?
No. There was open doors. It was like
Oh,
open,
okay.
completely open. So if I pooped, everyone would be looking at me. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So I decided to go outside, and I happened to be in like a big Howard's warehouse. You know, like a Howard store, which is a local chain, I think maybe, but it's potentially I've never actually been
It's
to
a
it.
giant warehouse.
But it's a giant place that basically sells like TVs and like fancy AV equipment.
Right.
All right. And so someone suggests, I'm like, hey man, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, well, there's one place you can go to the bathroom. It's this. You can go to the bathroom in this recliner.
Yeah, in the
It's like, I can poop in
recliner?
this recliner. And I'm like, really? You're pooping in this recliner? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, okay, how do you do it? And it's like, okay, well, first off, you lift up the top. So you know how recliners have like the top part where they have like a
Yes.
cushion for kind of your head?
Yes.
You lift that part up, and there's a spot where you can poop. It's
Where
like
the head is?
Where the head is. It's like just basically kind of like a little like
You're demented.
spot. Well, wait, I'm not done with the story.
Of course
There's
not.
a spot where you could kind of like have a, it's an indentation, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can just poop in there. And I'm like, that seems very messy. And
Yes.
like, okay, well, don't worry. We have litter for you. So I had to go to a place. I had to get basically litter, and it was human litter, which is different from cat litter.
Of course.
And it's
How is it
basi-
different?
It's different because it's basically wood shavings with cranberries in them. Okay, so you take the cranberry, your wood shaving the cranberries, and you put it in your little spot on the top of the recliner, and then you stand up on the recliner, the head of the recliner, not
Right.
the normal like
No.
sitting part of the recliner.
Yes, the
You
head
take
of the
a squat
recliner
and
where
you take a
people's
shit.
heads are.
And I was about ready to do that, and I woke up.
Thank God, because you almost shit the bed.
I almost did, but you know what?
Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, "Do I have to go to the bathroom?" I didn't.
Whoa.
I just had a whole dream about wanting to poop, and I didn't actually have to go.
I've had dreams in the past when I was like young about like needing to go to the bathroom, like needing to piss and shit, and I would, and then I wake up and be like, uh-oh.
I've never had that happen.
Never?
weirdly. Yeah, no.
I've
But I've
had
had that
it-
where I've literally had dreams where I'm like pissing, like going crazy.
You're going crazy on
Going
that
crazy.
piss. Yeah, you're
And I
pissing
wake
like a
up and I'm
racehorse.
fine. I don't know why, because I always hear that thing where it's like in your dream it really happens.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
it happens for a lot of people.
It's happened to me, not recently, but it's
Right.
happened a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never happened to me, which is weird. So I just
Why is that weird?
because everyone else seems to have
Oh,
that
I
issue
see.
where
You
if
want
pee-
this to
where if
happen
pee-
to you.
No, I don't want it. I'm just saying it's weird because it's not the experience I've heard from everyone else.
It's relatively,
right?
yeah.
Anyway, that's just a typical dream. Literally last night, just had that dream.
Pretty similar to this movie, actually.
Pretty similar to this
Honestly,
movie.
yours made a lot more sense, though.
Yeah, human litter makes sense.
The human litter is like very genuinely like something I can imagine, right? Cranberries and wood shavings.
Wood shavings, yeah.
I can shit in that.
It kind of smelled good.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
kind of nice, like wood shaving.
Have you ever shat not in like water?
a toilet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I've pooped
stinks.
in the ground. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's awful. That
Yeah.
like you realize like why there's water in a toilet is to mask the smell of your shit.
Well, I think it's also just to get it down pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, that's
it's
true
a smart
too.
invention.
But it also helps.
It does.
Toilets are very smart
Toilets. We
inventions.
really don't appreciate them enough. But
We really don't. I honestly like of all of the like luxuries we have in the world, toilets are the
thank
ones.
God for plumbing every time, because like they used to just like poop and like throw it out in the street back in the day.
And think about it, plumbing in general. Think about like baths and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, you had to collect the water, put it in your bath, and then
You have to like take that bath and dump it out. in
Dump
the
it
side. Like,
out.
that's crazy. It's so much work.
on the street.
Really makes me appreciate so many things modern conveniences. That's
Yeah.
basically all my dreams are for.
Well,
what does
anyway.
head makes you appreciate? I don't know what head makes you appreciate.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It does not make
I
me
guess-
appreciate anything.
Yep.
So there's steam from a steam room. There's an Indian religious man who discusses belief. Our mind is unable to differentiate between the real and the fake.
Is that supposed to be like a knock on the Beatles?
I think it is.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if it is a knock on the Beatles, it's not a very funny one.
Yeah.
He says it takes
That's-
energy and discipline, clarity, and he says he knows nothing. And Peter listens to all this, and then there's more steam, and then the Indian mystic man disappears. Peter leaves the steam room, and he sees a woman in a bikini about to commit suicide. And Mike and Mick
God.
bet whether or not she'll jump. And then Davey is still looking for the eyeball. Mike catches the bikini girl and then collects the betting money because he said that she would jump, but he caught her, so she lives, but he also gets the money. And then they mention that you guys might end up back in the box, which is, I think, supposed to be a reference to, like, television, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay. The four of them...
Also relevant to prison.
A prison. The four of them wind up in a sealed black box together. Mike teaches the three of the ones about conceptual reality, all the same stuff that the Indian guy told him about. But he's, and this is what I'm talking about as far as like acting goes, right? So like I was always under the impression these guys were like musicians first, actors second.
Yeah.
He's
Same until I looked at the Wikipedia.
he is so obviously looking off camera at the lines he's supposed to be saying. And I'm like, this is like basic acting shit. Like, you just learn your fucking lines. He's not even like asked to learn that
I don't
much.
even have to be that good of an actor back in the day. You know?
Honestly. So I'm like, what in the fuck are we doing here? So he does this shit and he tells them about all this stuff. He says all the same stuff that like Indian guy told him. And then Davey is like upset about all this. So he breaks out. And it's the funniest thing because he's like the tiniest little British guy. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he breaks out of the box with just sheer force of will. And then he starts beating up all the factory workers. And then they walk onto a Western set and the bearded guy is there. And he points the gun at them. But then Davey produces a cannon and he shoots the bearded guy. And then Victor Mature shows up and he's a giant man in the background, like the Jolly Green Giant. And then the four of them are lifted by helicopter in the box and dropped in the middle of the desert. And they're surrounded by the military, the Native Americans, factory people, people wearing
all
turbans.
the people in the past shows we've gotten.
And a Coke
Test
machine.
scenes. The Coke machine's back.
And chaos. They're trapped in the middle of chaos. A tank arrives and they shoot at the Monkees and then it blows up the Coke machine. And the turban guys are very upset by that. They keep saying Coca-Cola. And then Victor Mature shows up and he plays golf and he sends the boys flying because he's so big and he golfs with the boys. And the boys go flying back onto the studio backlot. More chaos. They land. Peter lands on a cow, the cow from earlier that said the Monkees are the craziest people. And he rides the cow through the diner and it's all fast forward. And then they wind up in the steam room and then in the factory. And then shots of horrifying news footage from like from Vietnam intercut with clips from movies and commercials and cartoons.
At the beginning.
Yep. And then you keep hearing a remote control click, which is a kind of reference to television. The boys escape into a black and white silent film, and then one of them gets married, and then they wind up in a Western, and then they jump on a dune buggy. The Victor Mature is there, and he's bored by the film that he's watching. And then the Monkees run onto a bridge. Chased by the cast of the earlier in the film, and they all jump off the bridge in slow motion to a song, and they land in water, but it's clearly a pool, and there's a psychedelic filter, and then they all wind up in a giant television, and they are trucked off, and on the back of the truck is Victor Mature, and they're being transported out of the studio, and that is the end of the movie. And the movie ends, it says head, and then you see the Columbia Pictures logo, and it burns like the film is burning, and then a lady laughs, and that is the end of the movie. Yeah. And that is Head.
That's Head, baby.
What a terrible film, actually.
I thought you said you were like, I kind of liked it.
I kind of liked aspects of it. The more I watch, the more I talk about it, the more I like.
The more you talk
describe
about it, I know. This thing is like at the end of this movie, when I did end up watching it, I was like,
You did end up.
Well, I mean, when I
watching
finished it,
yeah,
I was like, it's fine, I guess. And now that I describe it, I'm just like, there's really nothing there. right? Like
Maybe it's just all vibes, man. I don't know.
it's just a vibe movie.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a stoner movie, but a different type of stoner movie, right? Like,
Yes.
it's not making stupid jokes
No.
or problematic things.
There are some problematic.
There are
things.
problematic things for sure. It's just a different
Yeah.
type of problematic thing.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
more of a
true.
trippy kind of like LSD trip as opposed to like funny.
Yeah, exactly. Let's smoke all the presidents.
That's very funny.
You fucking idiot.
That'd be pretty funny if the Monkees rolled up like George Washington and were like, "Ooh."
Davey, what are you smoking? Abraham Lincoln.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like it. And I did like aspects
There were parts of it that are like, oh, okay, we got some stuff here, but
Yeah.
like
overall,
overall,
not that
pretty.
great.
It just doesn't fit together well.
maybe honestly, and the problem is we haven't seen the TV show. Maybe
Yeah,
we'd
maybe.
appreciate it more if we'd seen the
Maybe.
TV show.
But
Yeah.
like, if you're making a movie that's standalone, you should be able to appreciate it without all the references.
So
and stuff. like you could make those references that are there and be like cool for the fans, but you should also make something on its own that stands on its own.
Well, apparently when they so apparently this movie made fucking no money, bombed. Nobody liked it when it came out.
Yeah.
And when they were advertising the movie, they purposefully did not want to relate it to the Monkees. So that's also why the title does not reference the Monkees. It's just called Head.
yeah, when I looked this up, we were originally going to watch the Monkees movie.
Yeah,
and then to be
that was
like,
on the
Wait,
list.
what's it actually called?
Head. And then if you look up the trailer, the original trailer, it's like a black and white footage of a guy that was not in the Monkees.
No.
And so apparently like nobody knew what the fuck this movie was. So
Yeah, it seems like a pretty bad marketing
on
strategy.
top of all of that, it was also like they weren't even wanting to be like compared to this movie because they wanted it to stand on its own. So
Yeah, that's even weirder then.
Yeah,
And then you watch it
exactly.
and you're like, what is this? This is nonsense.
I will say this is better than a lot of the live action Beatles movies though. Like
Really?
I don't know if you've seen Help. Help is one of the fucking worst movies
I've
ever
not
made.
seen any of the Beatles live action movies.
The Help is one of the worst films. I've never actually seen the first one they did. Hard
Well,
Day's Night. I've never
I thought
seen.
people like Yellow Submarine. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
but they're not in that one. It's also animated.
Oh.
It's animated and they aren't in it. I mean, they are in it, but they don't voice their own characters.
Got it.
Yeah,
That makes
so,
sense. That
yeah.
probably makes why is it better, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think I've seen Help, and Help is bad. Help is a very bad movie.
Wow.
Worse than this, in my opinion. Even though it
It's
has
just
better
weird
music.
it's just weird that like
You think, yeah, these actors.
they like the Beatles is like, okay, fine. You
They're
guys
not
are-
actors.
they're musicians. Like this is something where it's like they're actors first,
Yeah,
musicians second.
they're not even good actors.
And actors, yeah, the fact that they're like reading lines off, wasn't compelled by any of them. That's why I was like surprised when I saw that they were like
That's surprising to me.
made.
I
for
honestly, that made the movie worse to hear that they're supposedly actors.
because it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
They want to reinvent their image, but I guess apparently like Monkey Mania came back and people like.
Yeah, this
really
movie's
wanted to
now
come
in the zeitgeist. Clearly, it's on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah,
I think people are reevaluating it, but I don't know what
I
value you're getting out of
reevaluated it
this.
and I found nothing. I found it to be lacking. It's fine.
It's
not,
fine. Again, I think this is a fun movie to put on. We were talking about this earlier. This is a fun movie to put on in the background if you're really high or drunk and you're not really paying too much attention to the film.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you don't
that'd
really
be a
care,
great
if you're not
time.
like, I don't need to follow a plot today. I don't want to follow character motivations or character
Yeah.
development. I just want to see fun images. Sure,
this is a perfect film for that.
sure,
Yeah,
perfect for
exactly.
that. But and if you want to look at anything with substance,
We are
No.
our first and foremost aspect of this podcast is to pay close attention to these movies, give them as much attention as possible, and I think that is the wrong way to watch this movie.
Yeah. And I will also say, I think this is our shortest episode we've recorded in a long while.
I'm trying to think of any dreams I've had recently that are like memorable, and I can't. None are coming to mind. I literally did have a dream the other day that I got in trouble at work, and then I was like, I thought it was real, and then I looked up, like I had to go through my work like email and all of my like tasks and stuff.
Oh shit, I hate that when a dream comes like too real and it's actually like
'cause
wake
it's
up and
realistic.
Yeah,
It feels. Yeah, I was just like, shit. Did that really happen? And I was like looking through and making sure it was all like, no, of course not. That's the only memorable dream I've had recently. So
That's a
I'm
bummer.
sorry, guys. I can't come up with any.
Listen, man, if you ask me every week what last dream I had, I will always come with some fucking weird bullshit.
Ethan, like notably, historically, famously, has said that if you could take a pill to not dream anymore, you would do it.
I would love to just not think in the
Yeah,
middle of the night and not have.
you just want to be
I
dead
just wanna
for 8
not know
hours.
where to, I just want to have to like not think about where I gotta poop, man.
Yeah, that is fair.
I
That
just,
is
I just
fair.
want to sleep, man.
What is your favorite place to poop?
my home?
Your home?
Yeah,
Nowhere?
I got a bidet. I mean, if there was a
You do
bed,
have a bidet.
if I had a bidet that was like heated, because I got a cheap bidet, it's like a $30.
You have a
cheap
cold
thing.
bidet.
Yeah, cold bidet. But like, I did go to one place that did have
Where?
a heated bidet.
Where?
It was in San Jose. It was in the San Jose area.
There's a nice bidet in
It's a
San
nice
Jose.
bidet. Yeah, exactly right. And that shit, I was like, fuck, I'm living in poverty.
Yeah, you got to get a nice
I gotta get.
bidet.
It was so good, dude.
Yeah,
it was
felt
so
good. Cleaned your ass good.
And it was warm. Like the warmth, you really can't.
You can't
knock that.
That is the biggest problem with a cold bidet. Is it'll wake you up.
It'll wake you up. It's
Yeah.
cold. It's it's a process. It's good.
It's good for you.
It's definitely better than fucking dry ass
Paper.
paper, but
Bidet is best.
It's bidet's great, but like warm bidet, it's next level.
We have been unable to attach a bidet to our toilet.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
been
'cause
living
your
in our
spot.
yeah, and we've been living in our place for like I want to say 3 years now, and it sucks. I miss because we used to as every historian of this podcast will know, the two of us used to live together, and we had a bidet, and it was the best shit in the world. It was
great.
amazing.
Yeah, going back feels like I'm going to the Stone Age.
It does. It feels like I might as well be wiping my ass with toilet paper, or not
True.
toilet paper.
You are.
Sandpaper.
You
Might
are,
as well
yeah.
be wiping my ass with sandpaper, you know? But
Yeah,
it
no,
sucks.
someday I'll get a warm one, but it's so annoying because like the warm ones you have to have the electrical outlet like right next to the toilet, and
That's
like no
dangerous.
one in America has that.
You're gonna
It's
electrocute
not
yourself.
dangerous. It's just you have to have it like high enough up, but it's like just no one has that because like why would you have an electrical outlet right next to your toilet
Why would you?
for a bidet? That's it.
For a bidet, that's the
It's
only reason.
very much.
Are bidets more like popular overseas?
Oh yeah. Just big in Japan, big in like I think South Korea. I think is also it's pretty big there.
Okay. They're really taking care of their assholes over there.
Yeah, over here we're just Neanderthals, scraping our asses, washing head.
I do watching head. I do feel like a Flintstone using a paper, like toilet paper every once in a while.
You think about it for too long, and you're like, man,
What am I doing here?
What
Like,
am I doing here?
if I had shit on my arm, I wouldn't just wipe it off with
No,
paper.
you get water.
I'd wash it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense, but
No.
you
But you know what else doesn't make sense?
This
movie. Guys, do you make sense? Email us. emailtheotherpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on Blue Sky. We're on Threads. And if you want to find us on Discord, we're also there too. If you want to listen to our previous episodes, I can't recommend a single one that's similar to this one.
No.
You can find them on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read in the show no matter what it says, even if it doesn't make any sense at all. And it's a crazy psychedelic mess that, once we put it together, we still don't know what's going on.
I would love that in review format. That'd be great. I don't want to watch it in a movie format like this,
No.
where it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Also, like, as cool as the visuals are, they're not that
They're not
great.
that
They're
great.
just fine.
I think I said it already, where it feels like they shot the scene and they're like, "This is boring. We need to do something with the
we
visuals."
gotta put some like effects here to
Yeah.
make it interesting.
And that's what they did. Yeah, it's not great. I do kind of want to watch the TV show now just to see what the
Yeah,
hell's
I'd be
going
kind of
on.
curious, just be like, okay, what are we working with?
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
beginning and how this transitioned to a movie.
But you did get some like good songs in the movie, right?
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
I guess. But
what was your favorite
there's
one?
only there's literally like two.
What was your favorite one between them?
I don't know. I like the one where they fall in the water. That one was fun. That was a good introduction. I'm like, oh, we're cooking here.
I also like the song when they fell in the water.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I just like the bridge. I'm like,
The bridge is recognizable.
I recognize that bridge.
That is crazy to know that it is that bridge.
Yeah, it's very weird. I was like, I recognize it. This is so.
I've driven
weird.
over that bridge before.
Yeah, a few times. It looks a little different, but it's pretty similar. I know the landscape.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to jump off that bridge to
You'd
a
die.
Beatles song.
You'd absolutely die.
I would.
There's no
So
way
is it
you'd
just
live.
because you hit the water and it's like concrete? Is that what it is?
Well, the surface tension will kill you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's
It
just the
absolutely.
surface
It's
of the water.
too much. It's
Oh,
way too
okay.
high. If you fall, maybe half that, you might be okay. But you still might break a bone or something.
What if I dive?
I
my
think it's
hands
better.
down?
I think it'd be better. Like if you belly flop, you'd be fucked.
Oh,
but,
if you belly flop in like most pools, you're gonna hurt
yeah,
yourself.
but if you dive, you do a little bit better.
Hell, what if I dive? Well, if you belly flop, you're gonna kill yourself. Yeah, no shit. I didn't ask if I belly flopped.
I'm just letting you know that even half the size, you'd probably die. But if
Yeah.
you dive at maybe half the height, you'd probably be okay.
You look like a baller.
I don't fucking know, man.
That's
I
fair.
don't go diving. I don't really like the water, to be honest.
You're not a big fan of water?
It's whatever. It's fine.
It's good for you.
Is it?
Water is good for you.
Well, I mean, to drink it, but swim in it?
Probably not.
No, you know what? I've heard it's healthy, right? It's good cardio. It exercises all your bones,
It does-
all your body,
It exercises your entire bones.
all of your bones.
It turns into
Your
a-
skeleton
your
is
whole
super
skeleton,
happy.
Your skeleton's gonna be fucking ripped.
Yeah, especially your head.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Here,
Poopies.
go ahead and pause it real quick. I want to actually show it to you
Okay,
really
show
quick
it to me.
because I'm gonna forget either way, and I want to hear your like actual reaction to
All right,
this.
Mike is showing me the poopies.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the poopies, and we're gonna have you guys hear all about
All
it.
right, we're gonna put the audio in.
There we go. Ready? Okay.
We're gonna make this harder to edit.
Sorry.
Mike, how dare you for making up better content? How dare you?
We all hung out in a coffee shop called Poopies up on the Strip.
You have such a fucking deep voice. Hearing the words say, oh my God, that's
It's
incredible.
a coffee shop called Poopies. He just throws it away like he doesn't. Like we all heard of a coffee shop called Poopies.
Who hasn't been to a coffee shop called Poopies?
All right, see that was worth it. That's gonna
worth
be a pain to edit, but that's pretty. That's
Well
pretty
worth
worth it. All right,
All
go
right.
ahead.